You can do anything. You can literally do whatever it is you want in nursing. Labor and delivery, dialysis, travel nursing, OR, ICU, NICU, whatever you want, you can choose and be really good at it. All right, so I am getting ready right now because it's one of my days off. It is about 10 o'clock in the morning and I have a nail appointment at 11, and I also wanted to go pick up some new plants for my place, so I thought, why not pick up my camera and take you guys along with me. One thing that I've been asked to do a video on is what I wish I knew in nursing school, and compare it to what I actually know now and what I've actually experienced. So I thought it would be cool just to kind of go throughout the day and spill all the things I wish I would have known in nursing school. Starting my morning right now, I'm gonna get my face ready for the day, and let's do this. You think you're gonna be working 12-hour shifts, but you're not. 12-hour shifts turn into 12 and a half, 13, 14-hour shifts. It can be good all day long and you think you're getting out right at 7:30 or right at the time that you're supposed to leave, and then towards the end of the shift you get a really sick patient and you can't just up and leave the next nurse with everything to do. You gotta somewhat start them off and kind of get the basic stuff done, the assessment, the blood draws, the meds. Get those things done and ready for that patient, because they're so sick. You don't want to just, oh, hey, this is a new sick patient for you. Go ahead and start up every line on them and every drip and get every blood work done and put in all the tubes. You know, you can't do that. You can't just abandon the patient once you get them and they're that sick and that bad of a shape, you know. So 12 hours, not so much. It can be longer than that. I wish I would have known that. But if you can help out the next nurse coming on so that their workload is a lot smoother and the continuity of care is better for the patient, why not? Why not? I didn't know that you didn't have to start as a med-surg nurse. The thing back then was you have to start as a med-surg nurse. You have to, that's the meat and potatoes of nursing. That's where everybody starts. That's where you learn how to be this efficient nurse, you know. That's what they would say, like, oh, you know, if you want to be really good and learn all your skills, that's where you go. You go into med-surg. Oh my God. They couldn't have been more wrong. I wish I would have known. You don't have to start in med-surg to be a good nurse. Med-surg is great. It's a great base to start on. It's definitely a great base to start on because you're getting everything, every type of patient, every type of illness, all of it you're getting on med-surg no matter what. But it's one of the reasons why I started off my nursing career really hating being a nurse. It was strenuous. It was around the clock meds, your 7 o'clock meds, your 9 o'clock meds, your 11 o'clock blood sugars, your 12 o'clock antibiotics, your 2 o'clock antibiotics, your 3 o'clock, your 3 or 4 o'clock blood sugars, and then again antibiotics. It was just around the clock med giving. You have the highest number of patients. In Florida, where I originally started as a nurse, you had 8 patients on the unit. 8. So I hated it. I was going around to all 8 of these patients. By the time I was done with 7 o'clock meds, it was time for 9 o'clock meds. By the time I was done with 9 o'clock meds, it was time for blood sugar checks. By the time I was done with blood sugar checks, it was time for antibiotics. And it was just like this constant, like that redundant nursing, and that just wasn't for me. Like I didn't like it at all. I did that for 2 years. I moved on to bariatric patients, which I really enjoyed. I really enjoyed working with bariatric patients. That was like a new love for me. They didn't need that constant around the clock type of thing. They were there for 2 days max, and then you got your next group of bariatric patients. So when I started my nursing career in med-surg, I hated it. I didn't know that you didn't have to do med-surg first. It really taught me how to be more confident in talking to doctors, asserting myself with patients, putting in NG tubes, putting in Foleys, changing wounds. Med-surg did teach me a lot. Med-surg taught me a whole lot. But you do not have to go into med-surg first as a nurse, as a new grad. You can go into whatever specialty you choose. There are so many specialties to choose from in nursing that you don't have to be miserable. You don't have to hate what you're doing. You don't. You literally can choose anything in nursing, and I'm sure you will find your niche, something that you really enjoy doing, that you actually like. You don't have to be one of these miserable bedside nurses out here. You don't have to be that nurse. Just choose a specialty that you're interested in. Try it. If you don't like it, try another one. Try one until you're actually happy. Don't just quit. Don't quit. Find one that you like and you actually enjoy doing. You know, people might say what they want, like judge you for it. Say, oh, you're only a new grad. You should definitely start in med-surg. Don't listen to all that smack talking. That's them. If that's the route they want, let them do it. You don't have to do it if you don't want to. Shoot, if you want to go into eye surgery straight out of school and you don't want to touch the hospital grounds at all, go into eye surgery. Do work with patients who are getting plastic surgery all day. Go into that. You do not have to go into med-surg to be a good nurse. Nursing is not a career where you have to be stuck to one thing. There's definitely so much variety, and that's actually the beauty of my career. It's what I actually really enjoy and love. You can do anything. You can literally do whatever it is you want in nursing. Labor and delivery, dialysis, travel nursing, OR, ICU, NICU, whatever you want, you can choose and be really good at it, perfecting your craft. And I hope and pray you find something you really enjoy. And I'm telling you now that you don't have to go straight into med-surg after nursing school. That's something I wish I would have known. This isn't something that I didn't know. It's actually something that I hope a lot of you new nurses know. If you're uncomfortable with an order, you don't have to do it. You absolutely do not have to do any order that you're uncomfortable with. If you feel in your gut like the doctor ordered something and you know your patient more than the doctor that just spent 30 seconds in the room. You've already spent a good 10-15 minutes with that patient, as opposed to the 30 seconds the doctor just spent by walking in and talking to the patient for 5 minutes. Probably less than that, just saying. You know if they're taking Viagra, you know if they're a chain smoker, you know if they're smoking weed and doing cocaine on the weekends, you know that. The doctor probably doesn't, because they were in there for 5 minutes. Sometimes the patients are nervous or scared and they don't tell the doctor all of these things. So if you don't feel comfortable carrying out an order, don't do it. Let the doctor know, let your charge nurse know, let another nurse know. I'm not comfortable with this. What do you think? Get that second opinion. So part of today's vlog is not only to answer those questions or tell you all about the things I wish I knew, but to take you guys along with me throughout my day. I just got here to Mickey's Super Plant House. As you can see, I'm gonna pick up a few. I'll be good. I'll pick up a couple nice plants for my place. I'm really excited. So let's go in here. is how nurses eat their young. That narrative has changed, especially with the newer generation. How cute is this chair? I just want something like that, like in my living room. But yeah, especially with the newer generation of nurses, I don't think it's so much that nurses eat their young anymore. We're all kind of like team nursing thing now as I've gotten older. That's what I've seen, the changes. Oh my God, I'm on Stera. Look at that beautiful plant. Oh, you guys, I'm pretty. Jeez. These look so good, they look fake. They almost look fake. It's unreal how good these look. But yeah, the narrative has changed over the years. It's less of nurses eat their young. I don't hear that so much anymore, and it's kind of like team nursing now, and we're getting better at it. I've been a nurse since 2012. It's 2020 now, so I've seen quite a bit of change. I remember when I first started, a lot of nurses were going into retirement, so I think that's why the change is where it's at now, like where we're basically like the younger crowd, and we get along, and we are millennials in nursing. So yeah, what do you guys think about this plant? I want one. Okay, I might just leave here with 10 plants. I said a couple, and I know I said I would be good, but so there's definitely less of that catty nursing that I was going into when I first graduated, that I went into hearing a lot about, or like the jealousy or the feuds. I mean, every now and then you get the whole like floor nurse versus the ER thing, or like the ICU versus the ER, but I mean, those are like things that I don't know, like that needs to change. I feel like that needs to change. The whole, oh, the floor nurses weren't ready when we got there, or I mean, if you did floor nursing, you would get it, and I think that if you do ER, you would get it. So it's just the perspective, I guess. If you haven't done that specialty, then you don't understand the struggles or some of the things that we're faced with, which keep us from always being ready for the next patient, or being ready and prepared like the ER wants you to be. But it's not gonna happen. It's not gonna happen. It's literally so beautiful here. Okay, okay, I see you flowering up there. Okay, so these are the 3 new plants that I ended up getting today. Well, once I became a nurse, I learned very quickly that there is no time to do a full head to toe assessment all the time. Especially once I became a ER nurse, once I grew into my specialty and started perfecting my craft, I learned even more that the head to toe assessment is not always easy, and you can't always get to doing a full head to toe assessment. It's also not necessary for every single patient. They would drill into our minds that the head to toe assessment had to be done on every single patient, but that's not the case, you guys. It's not the case. If somebody comes in for a headache, you're not checking out their stomach, you're not checking out their skin, you're not doing all of that. It's a headache. Find out if they're dizzy. Find out if they've been having blurry vision. Find out if they've been, check their blood pressure, make sure their blood pressure is not up. It became less of head to toe assessment and more of a focused assessment. So once you're in nursing, once you're done with nursing school, Learn your specialty. Head to toe assessment isn't necessary for every single patient. Every person is different. If somebody comes in for foot pain, you're not doing a head to toe assessment on them. You're assessing their foot, checking for cap refill, checking for pulses, checking for movement, checking for reflexes. It's all very specific. Everybody doesn't need a head to toe assessment. And when I got out of nursing school, I was doing head to toe assessments on everyone. Yeah, everyone don't need one. All right, finally home, and I can kind of wrap up this video. You guys have kind of spent the whole day with me, and one of the biggest, it's a Tuesday afternoon. I got up, started my day, went out for new plants, and I had a really good time today. So the many benefits of the career in the medical field or in nursing is having that flexibility in your schedule and not having to work your typical 9 to 5, not having to work 5 days a week, you know, if you don't want to. But it's not always going to consistently be 4 days off. So the biggest thing I got really excited about fresh out of school was I'm gonna be off 4 days a week. I'm gonna be off 4 days a week, and I'm gonna just work 3 days in a row, and that's it, that's all. No, wrong, it's not always that consistent. The unit that you're working, the unit that you're on, the schedule may change from time to time. People might have different changes in their schedule, especially people with children. Their schedules can change all the time. So the unit manager, whoever creates the schedules, will change it based on the needs, and people with more seniority than you, those things actually really matter. So keep that in mind. You're not always going to work just your 3 days and be off for 4. It might be 3 days on, off for 2, on for another 3, or 2 days on, off for 2, on for another 6. It just varies. It varies. Your schedule's gonna vary. It'll change. Just be open-minded, be flexible. Talk with your unit manager, talk to the scheduler, let them know what hours you prefer, how you like to work, if you prefer all your shifts in a row and a good chunk of days off. Let them know that. 9 times out of 10, they'll be willing to work with you because they would rather have the unit fully staffed than to be short-staffed because of, you know, just not giving somebody what they prefer schedule-wise. So your schedule will vary. And I don't want this video to go on and be too long, but I hope you all really enjoyed it. Something that I want you all to take away from this is I see a lot of new grads. They get into it for the wrong reasons. They get into it for all the wrong reasons. And I'm not judging you. There's nothing wrong with getting into nursing for the financial aspect and the job security aspect. There's absolutely nothing wrong with going into nursing for that reason. But if that is all, you are going to hate it. You're going to hate it. You're literally going to hate it. You're going to hate it. You're going to hate it. I can't stress that enough. I would hear it all the time. So I remember being in clinicals, and there was a student. He was a male student. He was a little bit older than the rest of the class, probably 33, 34. This guy, he wanted it just for job security. He wanted it just for the income, just for the money, like, which makes sense. I mean, you want to go into a career where you know you're going to get paid. You know you're always going to be needed, and you know you're always going to have a job no matter where you go. That's okay. That's common sense. You want that. But if there's no passion and there's no true meaning behind it other than a paycheck, you're going to hate it. So we walked into clinicals. It was a nursing home clinical at this time. We were doing geriatric rotation, and there was a code brown. Those of you who know, you know. Code browns, man. You gotta get them double gloves, get the gown on, get your mask on, cause the smell ain't all that. The smell is not all of that. So we're getting ready to go into this cold brown. It's like 3 of us, because she's the instructor at the time, split us into groups of 2, and there was 6 people in this class. We're getting towards the end of the semester here, where they drop like flies. If you're in nursing school now, you get it. Your class drops like flies. Anyways, I digress. The story goes, we go into this cold brown to get ready to clean up this man. He had to be 450 pounds. Couldn't move, he was bedbound, and there was a cold brown, and they asked for the students to help clean it up, of course. Help. By help, they mean they wanted us to do it. Yeah. So we get dressed up, get ready to go in. He's fully dressed. He's got the gown on, he's got the contact precautions, he's wearing double gloves, he's got on a mask. We go in the room and we go to turn the patient to clean him up, and he literally was like, yeah, I can't do this. This profession is not for me. I can't. And he stopped what he was doing. The rest of us continued. We kept cleaning up and whatever. He left the room. I thought at the moment he just couldn't take the smell of stool. And I thought, maybe stool is not his thing, because everybody has their thing. Some people get real sick with emesis. Some people get real sick with sputum or respiratory kind of things. Some people hate that stuff. I thought he just couldn't take the smell of the poop, and he was like, I need to get out of here. No, 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 no. By the time we were all done, we all walk out, and she's like, it's time for lunch. Yeah, of course, it's time for lunch now after a cold brown. So we all go to lunch, and we're like, where is he? We're all looking for him, and the instructor towards the end told us that he respectfully said that he couldn't do this anymore, and he quit the class. And that's included in it. So if you don't see yourself wiping a 79-year-old obese patient who can't move, then I'm saying it now, this isn't for you. It's not for you, because you're going to be seeing a lot of disgusting body parts. You're going to be seeing a lot of disgusting, you're going to be seeing a lot of nasty things. And just getting a paycheck at the end of it all, it won't be worth it if that's all you want, because you can make money other ways. There's plenty of other ways to make money. It's not just nursing. So with that being said, there's a lot of you that get into it for the wrong reasons, and you hate it, and you're like, oh, I'm just gonna go and get a higher degree. I'm gonna become a nurse practitioner. I'm gonna become a nurse anesthesiologist. You hate the first year, and you hate it for that reason, because you just don't see yourself being a bedside nurse. But let's just say it. Let's just say it. You went into it for the wrong reasons. There's nothing wrong with with advancing. There's nothing wrong with going higher into the career of nursing. Absolutely nothing wrong with advancing your career. But I really do wish less people would bash the bedside nursing aspect, because there is something to be said about a bedside nurse. That person is the same person who takes care of your family member and your loved ones when they're basically on their deathbed. It's the bedside nurse. It's not the advanced practitioner. It's not the provider. It's not the doctor. It is that bedside nurse that has the heart and the caring, that wants to do that and see that person in their last days and actually give that, that caring touch that they need. So although people bash bedside nursing, it's actually something that, I give kudos to bedside nurses. And I'm an ER nurse now, so I do see patients for a period of time, and then they leave and they go upstairs. But once they leave the ER and wherever they may go, they go off to surgery, they go off to ICU, they go off to the unit, they go off to have a baby. Wherever they leave and go, they will at some point come in contact with a bedside nurse. And we need more bedside nurses who actually are doing it for the love of nursing and not just for a paycheck. I hated bedside nursing. I hated it. It wasn't for me. The redundancy, of around-the-clock meds and diabetic checks and AccuChecks and checking blood sugars and the around-the-clock. The redundancy just wasn't for me. I became an ER nurse and I absolutely love my career. I absolutely love my career in nursing. I love what I do, but I also don't discredit the nurses who work at the bedside day in and day out with patients. I don't discredit their work. I don't discredit it, and neither should you. If med-surg is something you want to do, if the ICU is something you want to do, go for it. Do it. Do it for the right reasons. Don't do it for the money. Nursing is for those with a heart, a real heart. Like you have to have a heart for it, not just a need for money. You have to have a heart. It's a career of passion. I don't think I'd be doing anything other than YouTube and nursing. Traveling the world, YouTube, or a career in nursing. Like it's something I always wanted to do as a child growing up. Helping a sick mom. I had a very sick mom who didn't speak any English and needed a lot of help at home after having a very, very major stroke. And I was probably, I don't know, I was 5 or 6 at the time, and I didn't understand what was going on. So I really wanted to understand and help other people, especially those who don't speak a second language, which is why I take heart to being able to speak 3 languages, being able to speak some of the most common languages, and helping other patients. That literally makes my heart so happy. So I'm gonna wrap up this video here, and I just want to say to all the new nursing students that are out there, those are you that are thinking about going into nursing, those of you that don't quite know yet which specialty you want to jump into, take into consideration all these things I just told you. I mean, I don't mind if I do have to do it for the next 10 years. I enjoy it. I really like it, even if it's not the ER, wherever I may be, whatever specialty I might be in, whatever title I may have, it's going to be nursing related. And I don't see any other career for me. I don't see anything other outside of medicine for me. I really enjoy it. And I incorporate a lot of things in my day-to-day life into it. So my health and fitness comes into play, and all the things that I do in that regard also play a big part into my life. So my career helps with that because I get to see firsthand what happens to you when you don't take care of yourself. What happens to you when you eat a crappy diet. I get to see that firsthand. So it helps me a lot with staying in control and watching what I eat, making sure I work out 3 to 4 times a week, making sure I get it in, because health is wealth. And until next time, where are we going next? Peace. Oh, wait. Before we end this video, hi to all my new subscribers. Hello, I'm so glad to see you guys here. I am just over the moon happy with all the new people who have decided to subscribe, click the like button, share, follow, you know, all that good stuff. I am beyond happy. I love you all so much. Thank you for continuing to follow me along this journey. I want nothing but to put out more and more content for you guys. You guys are the best. You guys are the best. Thanks for watching. See you in the next video.